Hello, welcome to the Yoga Studio Financial Plan Model Walkthrough, your tool for understanding, planning, and optimizing the financial health of your yoga business. Whether you're an entrepreneur planning to open your first yoga studio or a current studio owner struggling to reach profitability, this model allows you to create a financial plan for your business. There are 5 main things that this yoga studio financial model can tell you. First, how many students you need to make your business profitable. Second, what type of classes we need to offer to earn profit, as well as the impact of seasonal effects. Third, pricing and payment plan to profit or loss. And lastly, what happens to your financial budget. Now, let's dive in and walk you through our financial model. This is our title page right here on the left, and this is our forecast tab on the right for visualization during this walkthrough. Now, first, we're going to head to our assumptions tab. To have that, we need to click this model navigation link right here, and it will list the different areas of the model. So we click the assumptions right here, and the model navigation link can be found in every upper corner of each tab. So right here, we're going to build our assumptions. First, we need to input the number of students per class. As you can see here, any changes in our inputs right here, it can be seen on the right in our forecast section. But since this is our monthly, we can go over to the right and see our annual periodic statements. Okay, now our current number of students are at 10, 12, 10, 6. How about in morning classes, we only have 5 number of students. Let's apply that to every class, and you can see here that there would be a drop in our revenues, and eventually there would be a net loss. Okay, let's put it back into our original assumptions, and we can see here that although minimal, there is still profit. So next, now to determine the seasonal effects to our business, we need to input the seasonality of each of these classes. Since over here on the right, we still have our annual amounts, we can move back over to the left and see the monthly impact on our business. Okay, so over here we have our seasonality. For example, during the summer season, a spike in the number of customers can be expected, while in the months of December and January, people have plans during the holidays, so less number of students are present. So now, what if we change the seasonality from 70% to 40% only? Okay, so as you can see here, there's already a drop in our revenues and a net loss of $6,900. So what if that instead of a drop in our demand, people are more inclined to do yoga in the start of the year due to the New Year's resolutions, and we change it back to 100%. And immediately we see an increase in our revenues and an improvement in our income. We still have a net loss of $800, but in the month of March, we can now have a net income of $1,100. So this is important so that we may know the impacts of seasonality in our business. And before we move forward, I need to tell you an important reminder that you can change the individual seasonality amounts. I just made it this way so that it will be easier for me to input, and you can also do this for the number of students. So now we also need to input right here where we have to account the number of days when the business operates and when they are closed. It is important to plan ahead which days in the week you offer which classes so that you can understand the profitability per session during the period. So we input true if there are classes on that day of the week and false if we do not. And then here, we need to input that in the month of January, we are going to have 1 week worth of holidays or days without operation. As you can see here, we would still have a profit. However, if we're going to input that we are going to have 1 week worth of holiday in this month and this month over here, we can see that it will impact greatly on our annual. Okay, let's go back so that we can properly see it. Okay, right here we have a net loss, but then if we have 1 week of holiday right here, it drives down our net loss further. So this is important, and so that you can plan for your business operations with this model. Now, if we move over here, we have our pricing and payment model. So the beauty of this model is that it gives you the option into how you want your customers to pay, whether it's per session, per week, or per month, and then you can plan how much you're pricing based on the payment method. And as you can see here, we are going to simulate our revenues based on the mix of payment. So as of the moment, we have this as our mix of payment method, and it will lead to a net loss. So what if that instead of this mixed payment, we receive payment only per session? Okay, as you can see here, there is a huge improvement in our revenues, and it will eventually lead to a net income of $14,900. But what if that instead of we're going to receive per session, we're going to receive it per week? So as you can see here, this is our revenues will drop, and it will lead to a net loss of $4,700. So this is important because pricing and payment strategies shape your revenue, cash flow, customer experience, and long-term success. So they should be planned intentionally and not left to guesswork. Now, as you have seen so far, the model is important for planning your business ahead. However, we do not stop there. We also need to input other income over here, as well as direct costs, capital expenditures, and other expenses. It is important to fill these assumptions with how we want our business to operate and how it is currently operating in order to have a full picture of the business. So after filling up this assumption section, we can now head out to our financial forecast. This is automatically calculated for us. We have here our income statement, our balance sheet, and our cash flow statement. If you're wondering how these amounts are generated, we have here the full detailed breakdown of the calculation shown below. And apart from that, the model also shows us the business key financial ratios. It shows us the bank ratio, liquidity, growth rates, and profitability, and as well as efficiency. Any small changes in our assumptions area will automatically change these ratios. And moreover, our model presents your business evaluation. This is to understand what your business is worth. It helps us attract strategic investors and helps in the case of exit planning. Our model also analyzes free cash flows. It shows us how much actual cash your business generates after covering operating costs and capital expenses. This supports long-term decisions and profitability. And finally, we have also here our funding requirements. Since banks and investors will expect a clear data-backed funding plan, this model lets you confidently present your capital needs and avoid undercapitalization, as well as plan for growth phases. And lastly, our executive summary. This shows us the full overview that captures your business projected performance, key financial drivers, funding needs, profitability timeline, and business valuation, all supported by clear and visual data. In addition, our model includes both annual and monthly summary sheet that can be easily printed for your internal team meetings, investors or lender presentations, and strategic planning. So bottom line, this financial model is not only just a spreadsheet, it is also a business plan and management system that supports you at every stage: startup, growth, profitability, and reaching long-term goals. It not only allows you to see the effect of pricing strategy, it also helps understand which type of classes contribute more profit, as well as understanding the effects of changes in the payment terms, whether weekly or monthly, and answering questions like how much holidays off will cost you. Ultimately, your pathway to sustainable profit. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Head over to our website to acquire our Yoga Studio Financial Plan Model template at www.efinancialmodels.com. See you there.